Hi, I'm Timothy White.
And I'm Julian Lennon.
And we're here today to answer a few questions, sign a few books in front of you, and would you like to proceed?
Certainly. I just want to say hi to everybody from lovely sunny Los Angeles. Julian Lennon and
Yes.
I have been friends for quite a while, going on years, and he's written an amazing new book called Touch the Earth.
Thank you very much.
And we're here to greet fans and to talk and to tell them why we're here and what the book's about and answer some questions and I don't know, what else? What else are we going to do? Maybe have lunch?
Later.
Okay, all right.
We don't get fed till later. No. Anyway, sure, you want to start?
Sure. Well, you're signing while I'm talking?
Sure, yeah.
Well, that's rude, isn't it?
Well, I can walk and chew gum at the same time.
All right, well,
Yeah.
here, I'm going to have to put on my glasses just to make sure because I didn't do my homework.
I
and
kept
remember.
mine off on purpose, so I didn't have to look at you.
Thank
But-
you, appreciate that. So,
Yeah.
a book on the environment for children. Why this book? Why now?
Well, in all honesty, you know, many people know me for, well, at least have known in the past that I've written songs about environmental issues, one in particular called Saltwater. And I've made, you know, a fair amount of documentaries about the same issues, humanitarian and environmental issues. And I've started a foundation called the White Feather Foundation. And all of those led to this, really, this book. I was actually going to write a biography, and the co-writer of this book, Bart Davis, we were sitting down together, and he was going through all the work that I was doing, and he said, well, have you ever written a children's book? And I said, well, no, I've done CDs and animated films and things like that, but never something from me personally, I guess. So he said, well, what about a children's book? And I said, well, as long as it encapsulates all of the things that I'm passionate about, that represent what I do, and the work that I do, then yeah, let's go for it.
Any specific environmental issue that?
Well, I mean, the White Feather Foundation, we deal with a lot of things, but the first book in particular is about water. It's about clean water and the access to water and you know, dirty water. And it's about, you know, the idea behind the book was to write, you know, one of the old school books, which I remember, you know, reading as a kid with mum or my grandmother at bedtime, you know, or nap time, and you'd sit there and you'd sit arm in arm, and you'd go flip through the book together. You'd go on an adventure together.
The images were so important.
Yeah, images, a colouring book. I mean, not a colour, but beautifully illustrated, and you know, to journey. And I just thought, well, if we can do all of that, a beautiful story, a beautiful looking book where the kids can be interactive, let their imagination flow, but also that it would be educational on some degree, so that, you know, we can get their minds ticking away early, and introducing them to, you know, environmental issues, I think is critical, because you know, not only for them and their future, but for generations to come. So it was, you know, it was important that that message got across, and this is one of a trilogy, so it's one of 3 books, and each one that we do, we get a little deeper into, you know, the different subjects that we can delve into regarding the environment and humanitarian issues.
Keep signing because we only have 30,000 more books to sign today.
Don't worry. Yes, sure.
So in the book, there's a group of children, and they're
What am I signing them for? There's nobody here.
I know.
Sorry. Okay, keep
Everyone
going.
left us alone. Well, we
Indeed.
can go. Let's go.
can?
Okay. No, seriously though,
Yes.
the book it's a group of children, and they're in an airplane called the White Feather Flyer. What's the significance of the white feather?
It's quite an amazing story. Many moons ago, on the occasion that I did see Dad, he told me that if he was ever going to pass, you know, ever going to pass on, that if there was a way of showing me that he was going to be all right, or that we were all going to be all right, it would be in the form of a white feather.
How old were you when you said that?
I don't know. I don't recall the time and the place. I just recall the message.
Well,
and 20 years later, I was on tour in Australia with the song Saltwater, which was #1 at that time, a hotel in Adelaide. And I got this call from, like 30 to 50 people down in the lobby with camera crews, and they want to see you. And I'm going, you're joking, right? They said, because a lot of practical jokes on the road, as you know. So I said, all right, well, I'll come down. And so I went down, and there was a sort of semicircle of all these people in the lobby, and this woman walks up to me with a white feather, male swan's white feather, which is a large feather, it's about so big. And she hands it to me, and she says, you have a voice, can you help us? Now, I'd known a little bit about indigenous tribes all over the world, not just in Australia, and how they've struggled a great deal due to governments throwing them off onto warring lands, using their land for nuclear testing, etc., etc. The list goes on. And so I decided, to step up to the plate, man up, as they say. And I spent, with a friend, Kim Kindersley, spent 10 years making a documentary about them. And we both thought, and I thought, if this makes any money, I want the money to go back to the tribe, the Moaning people. And the only way to actually do that at the time was actually through a foundation. Hence, we threw a couple of names on the table until we, finally came up with the White Feather Foundation.
So if I may, why did they give you that feather? Did you know what that feather meant to the tribe, or?
Well, no. I mean, obviously, I got complete goosebumps through the roof when I saw it, and I went, whoa, that's a sign if ever I've seen one. But I'm absolutely sure that they had no understanding or knew no history about, the relevance of it for me. So, and the fact that these are people from the earth, they really are as close to nature as you can possibly be. It just felt like that was a connection that was made in the most organic and natural way possible.
What spoke to you, and your dad spoke to you in some way?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, it's so wonderful that you took it then to this other place and doing so much good work with the foundation.
Trying to, yeah.
And so, but you tied that into the visuals of the book and sort of the story of the book.
Yeah.
Tell us a little about the book and where does it take these kids? And
well, again, it's a journey. They go, kids from all around the world get in a little plane, a beautiful little plane whose wings are made of feathers, and we can hear the kitchen in the background. I'll have another cuppa, thank you.
Nothing from me, thanks.
Nothing, thanks. Anyway,
here, why don't I show it so you can at least see the visual here?
Yeah. So yeah,
I don't want to block myself though, because this is my first time on camera.
Of course it is. So it's all about having this vehicle, which is the White Feather Fly, to journey around the world, go on an adventure, and see all these beautiful things in the world, but also see some pretty terrible things. And they fly around. They see deserts. They see irrigation. They see mountains. They see all kinds of things, and people, of course, and how important clean drinking water is to everybody. But at one point, the actual plane folds its wings in and becomes a submarine, goes into the water.
Wow.
And then you get to see, obviously how dirty the water can be, and the plastics, and how really bad that is for everybody concerned. And again, this is about getting the message across to them about the problems we face. So, at the end, for me, I've never been a person who preaches as well. Don't want to do that. It's just about laying.
You're always telling me what to do.
Yeah, well, that's a different subject. It's all about laying the information on the table for them to make the decision about, and to be able to do it in such a way that's beautiful and I think will stay with them, throughout their lives, because I remember the storybooks that I was read too.
And this is, to that point too, this is so significant for parents to share with their children and to bring about issues that are really important at such a young age.
Absolutely, it's a reminder, because obviously, as we all know, certain people in certain administrations have cut, funding in certain areas.
Which is to talk about politics now?
We're not going to get into politics. We're just saying certain people have cut certain funding in certain areas, and so a lot of information, about environmental and humanitarian issues, etc., is not getting to the kids in schools. Therefore, the idea behind this also is that, I believe that kind of learning always should start at home, regardless. But we still need our schools to be able to teach kids what's up.
Well, this could be something shared in schools as well.
It's quite possible. I mean, at book signings, the book signing at the Grove in New York, there were a lot of teachers that came up to me on that day, and it was really quite beautiful, because they've already said that they're reading the book to their classes, and they're putting it in the school libraries. So, I mean, that's heartwarming. I couldn't be happier about that. It
helps them with their opportunity to engage with their children. So you've had this really successful week with this book. It's going through the roof. It's really crazy.
Yeah, I mean, we were #1 in children's environmental books on Amazon this week, which thank you, everybody. And we hit number 6 overall books, which I am just blown away by. So this inspires me, encourages me to keep going and keep putting this message out, because it seems to be the right thing at the right time, and organic again,
And it plays back. I mean, using the white feather, having it be pervasive in the book in some way, it keeps coming back to your foundation and the good work the foundation does.
Yeah.
So it's good all the way around, and everybody's getting the message. Have you gotten responses from children yet? And I also noticed it was up to 3-year-olds, like that young.
Yeah. Well, no. I mean, it's aimed at 3 to 6-year-olds, and that, as we all know, is it's been stated that sort of 3 years old is the Y age, where kids are asking, well, why is the grass green? Why is the sky blue? Right. And why is the ocean polluted? Why has it got plastic? Why is it killing everything? So for me, this is ideal to get that message out, so that they really pick up on that what the good and the bad is in the world that we live in.
You're such a visual artist. You're so respected worldwide. It's so wonderful. Well, actually, it was on the cue cards. I had to read it. I'm sorry. But what that does is allows you to have this voice that can reach olds. But the teachers are responding. People are responding to you, and that fact that you're doing a children's book.
Well, I've never shifted my ground. I've always stuck to my guns. I've always been integrous in everything that I've done. I've tried to be honest and truthful in every way, shape, or form. So I just think this is part of that package. From the music to the photography to the that's another story.
I can do it. We can do a couple of pitches here if you've got something else you want to.
Sure.
How's the new CD doing?
Which new CD?
Okay, let's go on the book.
That's next. What? Hello? Oh, okay. Anyway, let's continue, and I think I'm using your mic because mine's broken for the moment.
Oh, okay.
That's close enough, thank you.
No, come on, let's get closer.
Security. Anyway, please continue while we have the time.
Okay, so I'm going to refer to my notes here just so I make sure we cover some things. What was the process like in doing this book with Bart?
Once Bart, thank you.
I remembered his name. Did you?
Once Bart and I,
he's going to be pissed.
Once Bart and I decided to do the book, karma is a. Anyway, once Bart and I decided to do the book, oh look, you're offline again. We spent a year again throwing ideas on the table, and because he's an incredibly successful writer, a bestseller. He put the structure of the book together, and then it was a question of going through and being able to just tell the story in the most, honest but fun way possible.
Was he encouraging you to do this book, or is it something that you had an idea for and then just got together with Bart?
He was the one that, again, we were talking about writing a biography, and then when he looked at all the work that I was doing, he said, well, have you done anything for kids? And so when I said, no, and he said, well, why don't we do a children's book? And I said, well, that's a great idea, as I said before, if I can bring all that I do into it. But I didn't know how to do that, and it was a lot more difficult than you think, because every single word. I mean, it's similar to songwriting because every single word is loaded. Mm-hmm. You have to and for writing for 3-year-olds.
I was going to say, for this audience especially,
you want to make sure that there's no confusion in what you're expressing here. Mm-hmm. And again, I think with the great illustration done by Smiljana, there's no denying the relationship. You know what's going on. You know what the story is. You know what it's all about. At the end of the book, we just say, thanks, see you next time. And, next time will be sooner than later.
And do we have an issue on the next book? Do you know where it's going? Or this one,
yes,
is about water?
I know it's
Are you going to lead on? Or?
Well, we've a lot of it has been written already.
Okay.
No, we just take the issue deeper and deeper and further, and I think quite possibly that the White Feather Flyer, it has turned into a submarine in this book. It may turn into other things in other books.
I'm sensing a merchandising something here too. There could be submarines. There could be white feather flyers around.
As long as it goes to the White Feather Foundation, I don't mind.
Do I get a piece of this action for just doing this, or a point or two, maybe?
Enough action. That's all I'm going to say. Thank you very much.
Let's not discuss last night. Okay.
The age group. Never mind.
What? Is it 3 to 6-year-olds we're playing to today?
Anyway,
I don't think so.
Shall we continue with the question?
Here, let me see if I've got anything else to say here.
My dear host and friend on crack.
You could say cracked. But what's next? What's next for you? Other than the next book, what else is going on in your life, your career?
Photography, exhibitions. I'm working with the Leica Gallery. I did my first major exhibition with them at the Los Angeles Gallery with a show called Cycle, which is now touring several of their galleries around the world. Sao Paulo shortly in about a week's time.
Any photo books in the works?
Yeah, I was going to get to that.
I knew you were.
He's on the ball. I put together with my assistant Deborah. We put together a beautiful book about that particular exhibition, and I actually really, really love it. Maybe even more so not more so than the exhibition, but I find it just as beautiful. And there are some other works in there at the back of the book that give people an idea of what the other work that I do is. So yeah, that's on the cards at some point.
I've got to say something. I've known you a really long time, and
Thank you.
By the way, if you order now, at the following number that's on your screen. No, I'm joking.
Timothy will come and clean your house in a maid's outfit.
I could do that. I'm good at cleaning houses.
So I've heard.
I've lost my train of thought.
Do you want to do some other questions?
No, I'll sign some books though if you want.
No, you shouldn't sign anything.
I could probably do a better signature than you at this point. You've done 18,000 books.
20 questions or 22 questions.
Wait, I'm going to say one other thing though.
Yes.
I've known you a long time, photographer, artist of all in so many different areas, musician, now author. I've never seen you more content, feeling like this is right. There's something about
Yeah.
this process that I've watched in you that I think is really, really special.
I think I'm more focused, zen, and together than I've ever been. You know, I really have. So this has been part and parcel, and it's all circled back to the white feather in many respects.
But you know, knowing you and your other work, watching you struggle with creatively with your music and with your photography and all that, this seems like such a you've seen at peace with this. There seems to be a purity to what you're doing here.
For some reason, that just seems to be the right place, the right time, and the right continuation of the work that I do.
Well, I love the fact that you're adding it to your repertoire. I mean, it's really...
like my CV these days, as I keep saying. Yeah.
Okay, we've got this thing. We're going to do 22 questions in 2 minutes. You ready?
Good luck.
This ought to be really good.
This should be
And I'm going to have to be the...
most interesting.
I'm going to talk really, really fast.
Okay, go on.
No, I can't.
Go on.
It's too early in the morning.
Yeah. Come on.
All right, ready? 22 questions, 2 minutes. Ready?
Okay.
Who inspires you the most, other than me?
My mother.
I can't read this. It's too small.
Do you need... seriously?
Sorry, 2 minutes are up. Thanks very much. We got one question in.
Come on.
Okay, ready?
Come on, what's wrong?
Who would you like to trade places with if you could?
You.
Who's the one fictional character you'd like to meet?
Fictional cat. No idea. Merlin.
Merlin. Okay. Who makes you laugh the most?
You certainly do.
Not today. Who's the most unexpected person in your phone?
Unexpected person.
I didn't write the questions. I'm just reading them.
I don't know. I'm sorry. Next.
Well, let's check your phone. Let's check
No,
your contact
let's not-
list. In
no,
fact, maybe we
let's
can
not-
share it with the audience.
No, let's not do
I
that.
think that would
Next.
actually be a really good
Next,
share.
please. Security.
I've lost my train. They didn't number them. Oh, they did. Okay. Who's the last person you called or texted?
You.
What one thing do you need to have in the fridge at all times? That I know.
Dark chocolate.
Chocolate, yeah.
Dark chocolate.
Okay. Which is better for you, I understand.
Much better. Very good. Very good. Yeah.
What's your favorite song of all time? Oh, wait, this is good. Wait, this is a moment.
That's a tough one. That's a really tough one. It would either have to be one of Bowie's or A Day in the Life.
Wow. I'm trying to remember who wrote that one. Okay. What's the greatest thing about living in the UK?
I don't live in the UK.
Ooh, that's going to hurt you.
did
You might want to correct that. Facebook goes all over.
But I don't live in the UK. Simple as that.
Yeah, but it was the way you said it. You don't want to, offend anyone.
I'm not offending anybody. I don't live in the UK. What's the matter with you?
It was the way you said it. There was tone in your voice.
Starting to. See what happens when he doesn't get his...
All right, what's the last gift? What's the last gift? You didn't bring the dark chocolate. That's fine.
I see.
What's the last gift you either gave or received?
Actually,
Or both?
Actually, it was this scarf.
Who gave you that?
Friend.
Anyone I know?
Yeah.
Oh.
Rich. Thanks, Rich.
Thanks, Rich. Okay.
2 minutes? It's 2 hours.
No. All right. What item would you die to get your hands on if it went up for auction?
Ooh, well, there was an acoustic guitar of Dad's that I fell in love with, that I had my hands on at an earlier age.
Do you know if it's available? Is it out there?
It's not. I believe it's in a museum in Japan.
Well, maybe they want to offer it as a gift. Christmas is coming, or we could do a trade.
Or the white piano that Dad played Imagine on.
Yeah, I would say that's a pretty...
Well, I think George Michael actually owned that. I think he bought that at auction for like $1 million.
Well, George, if you're watching...
Well, from above, yes.
Okay. What item... No, what's your first memory of life?
5th birthday.
You sure?
Yeah.
Why?
No, there's two things. Well, they may have been at the same time.
Wait, that could be the next question, so don't screw me up here.
Clearly, sitting on a rooftop with my dad with a balsa wood plane with a rubber band.
Wow, look at that, how things go on.
And the other thing was the 5th birthday, which the cake was in the shape of a steam train. There you go. Exciting stuff, folks.
Yeah, this is really moving along quickly. What was your favorite movie as a kid? I think we're over 2 minutes. Thank you very much.
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And/or Oliver.
What about,
Yes.
speaking of which, maybe animation is
Oliver.
next with...
Oliver. Animation? Well, I mean,
Touch the Earth.
I've thought about it before, you know.
And it certainly lends itself to that, I think.
Yeah, no, and you know, I've always liked doing voiceovers for animated stuff, so that's entirely a possibility, is to turn this into an animated series.
Yeah,
of
I
sorts.
think that would be great.
Could be a lot of fun, yeah.
I'll do the advertising photography for it.
Sure you will.
Can I get a little plug in here? Get my agent's number? Maybe we can play that under the
I'm
screen.
not sure the world has enough money to pay you for that,
Well, clearly not enough for today's. So, what cause is the most dear to your heart?
There are too many, but probably clean water is the first and foremost.
I also know you work a lot with the Lupus Foundation. Do you want to say anything about that while we have a second?
Well, I mean, you know, sadly, the girl that I mentioned, you know, the reason Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds came about was because of a picture I drew at school of my little kindergarten of my little friend called Lucy, and sadly, quite a few years ago, she passed away from lupus, and I was in touch with the foundation, and they asked me to become the global ambassador for them. So I try to, you know, bring awareness and keep everybody up to date on what's possible, what we're learning, how we're trying to cure, and you know, I do all that I can, and there's galas every year. There's several galas that I try to attend. And Whoopi, a dear friend of ours, has attended several times and helped with that, which has been fantastic. But what I just want to do a shout out to, because of the clean water thing, I was invited out quite a few years ago by a gentleman called Scott Harrison, who actually started the charity water, who invited me out to Ethiopia for the first time to see, you know, the real world in where people had no fresh water, and I mean it was heartbreaking and devastating, and we went around for a couple of days all over the country, looking at, you know, as I said, dirty water, but also, you know, breaking ground to drill for new water, and then wells that were established, and you saw how communities were thriving. So we did a campaign with them, but without him as inspiration, you know, maybe some of the things we've done wouldn't have happened.
And was that the genesis for this?
That was certainly again, part and parcel of, you know, the thought process behind this was having done that trip, you know, with Charity Water. So I can't thank you enough, Scott.
Well, I think we're only at 1 minute and 3 seconds here, so let me keep going to try and fill up our 2 minutes of questions.
Yeah.
No, come on, don't make me. I'm trying to get a gig here as a host.
I understand.
And you got to make me like look good.
Which network?
It's certainly not going to be Facebook. Okay, so what's the one skill you wish you had?
Remembering how to play music sometimes. In all honesty, I wish I was a practicing musician, but I never have been.
Well, you are.
Well, no, I'm not. No, I literally can remember things just off the top of my head. But if you literally ask me to play any one of my songs on any instrument, I would not know how to play it. I have to relearn my songs every time. I literally write a song, sing it, perform it, put it out there, and it's gone into the ether, and then I move on to the next project.
Well, you certainly have enough projects going on. So
Not enough projects going on.
all right, let's see what else we got here.
Sure. That's a kiss for someone special.
Do you? What was that?
Nothing?
Would you sign a book to me? Can I get one of these?
Eventually.
I think I have. What's the price?
Finish.
Oh, it's cheap. Anybody can get this.
Anybody can get this. Come on. It's not the only thing that's cheap in this.
Certainly what the cost of your host today. Okay, so You have any hidden talents that we should know about?
For those who don't know, cooking.
Oh, I know.
Well, you know.
I know. You're not only a great cook, but a great host.
But thank you.
Surrounding that.
Well, I just say there's the drinks cabinet, and then you all go off, don't you, and get ploughed.
And then, yeah, but you're very gracious that way.
Anything tastes good at that point in time. No, had I not got into music, I would have been a chef.
Huh.
I think, pretty much so.
Well, having been treated to you cooking for me and for your friends, it is a special experience, and it's one that you obviously enjoy. So,
thank you very much.
No, seriously, and so do we. We enjoy watching you do it, and of course, eating your wonderful dishes. So, where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Even happier.
Oh, I like that. Well, I hope I can join in that. That'd be nice. Or at least watch it from afar.
It's even stranger.
Okay. I think we're at a minute 32 now. Where do you, I mean, all you do is get into this white feather flyer and fly around the world. That's like every time I see you or talk to you or see your social media, you're someplace else. Any place you haven't been that you want to go?
Well, you know what it's like when you're on the road, on tour especially. All you see, it's true, all you see is the hotel, the tour bus, the plane, the airport, or the gig itself. So you never really get a chance to look around. And there's so many places in the world that I just haven't been yet. Thailand and the list goes on. Patagonia, Antarctica, you name it.
Have you been to Secaucus, New Jersey?
May have been through there at one point.
You might want to visit. It's this. In fact, they might have some environmental issues you might want to address.
Yes, this is very true. Very true.
Okay. Where?
Oh, here we go.
Where would you spend retirement if you're actually going to ever do that?
What the F is that? No, the meaning. Where? Well, I have to say that I love where I live, which is in Europe, because there's so many cultures and so many beautiful things in such a near proximity to
Condensed,
where I am. Whether that's Paris or London or Brussels or Italy, it's all pretty local, which I find amazing and fantastic.
So as you creep into your elder years, that's where we'll be looking for you?
Yeah. Although I do, again, I want to travel. I want to travel and I want to see the world like I've never seen before. So maybe that might be a consideration as I'm thinking about an adult gap year. Because I never celebrated the 5-0. So I figured, 5-5 sounds pretty good.
5-5 does sound good.
5-5 sounds good. So maybe, and 5 was Mum's favourite number as well. So
a lot of significance here. Yeah. Maybe we should look longitudinally and latitudinally and find out where 5-5 takes us.
Indeed.
Okay. Well said. No?
Of course.
Yes. Okay. Quickly. How often do you check your Instagram?
Every half an hour.
No, you do more than that. You just don't answer people. But
have you seen me on Instagram right now?
Oh, we're busy. You're on camera.
Well, there you go.
All right. How often do you take tea?
Tea. Cup of tea.
Cup of tea.
I don't really take it when I'm out on the road, but at home I have like cup of tea and bickies at kind of 5-6 o'clock.
Yeah, I know you like your little treats.
Tea time. That's what we.
Well, look at. I think we did that in under 2 minutes. Did we get an award or something for that?
I'm amazed at the speed and.
So I think what's next though is there's only 30,000 more books to sign, and
actually 2,000 more books to sign today. So there you go.
I have to tell you, as a friend, I'm just so proud.
And Barnes and Noble tomorrow. Grove.
Yep.
3 o'clock. Signing, photos, all of that kind of stuff.
Can we say where exactly?
at the Grove.
Yeah, at the Grove here in Los Angeles, at Barnes & Noble.
Indeed.
Going to be exciting.
There we go.
What are you wearing?
No,
I hope not that same scarf, that gift from Rich.
so mean. So
No, it's not mean. I'm just making a
Rich,
comment.
I leave it up to you to deal with him however you wish to. I've no idea. Probably a black T-shirt.
I'm thinking something more colorful for myself.
I'm sure you are. Sure you are. Oh yes, because you'll be hosting tomorrow as well.
Oh, that ought to
should
be fun.
A thrill. Oh,
I actually have a whole different routine for tomorrow, so I've been working on it all week.
Makeup and hair.
We're bringing our own people,
makeup
yes,
at
we
least.
make sure we do. So, you're signing 2,000 books. Oh, what I didn't get to say, I'm sorry to say, was I'm just so proud of you. I mean, what you've done with this is amazing, and it's so good because of the issues that it brings up, for the age group, for the fact that you're reaching out to so many people in such a short time, and you're getting such a great response. So, congratulations.
Thank you, and thank you especially, because as whether you like a fan of Bono's or not, you know, the fact that he said this, which was I felt was kind of beautiful at the end, was that he said, "I've always admired Julian Lennon singing because for all he has seen of the world, his melodies contain such childlike wonder. His words too. Buy this book and his words turn into actions." So that's what this is all about, folks. Touch the earth. And the next book, I believe, is Heal the Earth. Little secret there, I just blurred out.
Yep, you did.
And, you know, certainly a good proportion, at least if not all of my shares, go to the White Feather Foundation to continue fighting and helping the causes that we believe in. Voila.
Well done.
Voila. JulianLennon.com, WhiteFeatherFoundation.com. Oh yes, and hey, come on, host.
Oh, but no, it wasn't my part. This was yours. These are your notes. My notes are here.
TouchTheEarthBook.com. TouchTheEarthBook.com. Thank you. Is that it?
I don't know.
Right.
Don't leave me here alone, please. Not on Facebook. Bye.
So I guess
Okay.
yes, thank you. Thanks
Thanks.
for joining us, and
Glad I could be a part of this.
very sorry.
Okay.